Hey everyone, it's Colleen from Online Coach to Support. Today I'm speaking with Anthony Spark. So Anthony is from Melbourne. He is a personal trainer and also a coach. His website is fitfellas.online. Hi Anthony, welcome to the call today.
Thanks for having me, Colleen. Great to be here.
Wonderful to have you here as well. And just to start off with, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, 47-year-old father of three, recently separated, in a new relationship, thought my world was falling apart. As it happens, the world didn't fall apart, and it's amazing what good things can come out of what's otherwise a fairly shitty situation. I've been working in the fitness industry for 25 odd years. Before it was cool to be a personal trainer, I was out doing the PT thing. It was a hard slog, but loved it. And the last 12 years, I've run a registered training organisation where we delivered Cert 3 and 4 in fitness. So my job over the last 12 years has been to educate and qualify thousands of personal trainers who's gone through our program. So I sold that in March 2016 and went into the coaching realm, specifically business coaching, interestingly, but my call back to fitness has been there. So I still do a fair bit of business coaching, mainly in the fitness industry, but I'm back to helping men over the age of 40 lose their gut. And that's all because that's who I am, that's my market. And men's health is unbelievably ignored and something that even blokes put on the back burner because we've got all these other things that we believe are more important. And I'm trying to recognise the fact that our careers and our families and our partners are important, but if we don't look after our physical health, it affects every other part of our lives. So that's my mission right now, is to help men get on top of their own health. And if we do it at sort of 40, 50, 60, then we get to enjoy 70, 80, 90.
That's right. And like you mentioned, there's a few people, I mean, a lot of people within our age group and everything, and, you know, with the men, and they want to be out there with their mates and drinking their beer and having a good time. But, you know, they've got to realise that they can have a good time, but, you know, they've got to counteract it with something. But, you know, and they're still macho for doing the fitness side of things and looking after themselves as well.
Yeah. I think you've struck a good point there, because I'm Captain Good Fun. I'm not here to tell anyone, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. It's you get to choose at the end of the day. So you can choose to have a good time eating beer and eating pizza and drinking beer, or you can choose to have a good time doing that sometimes. But like at my age, getting on the booze, the next day I feel lousy. You know, I don't have a good time the next day. So I might, in the moment when I'm a bit tipsy, go, oh, I'm having a great time here. But if we're really aware of how our body's working, I'd rather have a body that works really well most of the time, because I'm not adding the crap into it that maybe in my 20s I could get away with drinking beer and eating pizza and all that sort of thing, and then wake up the next day and go for a run. At 47, I can't. And I think, you know, when we recognise that okay, if I'm actually going to feel good on a regular basis, I've got to put good stuff into me on a regular basis. Absolutely go and have a beer. Absolutely go and do the things that you want to do. But as you say, it's that recognising what that's doing to your body and making a conscious decision about what you're going to do. If you want to go and get smashed in the pub and that sort of thing, that's entirely your call. It's your body. You can do what you want with it. But if you want a better quality of life, if you want to delay the onset of disease and aging prematurely and all that sort of stuff, then we need to make some smarter decisions.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. It's not until you normally get a health scare from the doctor or something that you do take things a little bit more seriously and then change your diet and change, you know, start a fitness routine or start something to get yourself on track and everything. But it's normally that big scare that gets you motivated in the first instance.
Yeah, that significant emotional event. I wrote a book a few years ago on this very topic, and tongue-in-cheek wrote in the book that I wish you a very small heart attack. And I don't, but the point is that when we get that jolt, when we get that, oh my goodness, I can't do this to my body and expect my body to respond in a good way. You know, if that's what we need, that's sometimes what we need. We need that little jolt in the system to say, well, heck, I'm actually not as fit and healthy as I was 20 years ago, because blokes are great at bluffing themselves. We're great at talking ourselves up and yeah, I used to be able to run 10Ks as if it was last week, not 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's a bit of bravado around that sometimes serves us, most of the time probably doesn't. You know, bullshitting yourself only gets you so far.
That's right. I liked a couple of weeks ago, or just before Christmas. So you ran a Facebook ad, and it was a bit tongue in cheek as well. So it was saying, "Hey, your girlfriend just called me," and so tell us about that ad.
I got my ass kicked for that. I really offended some people. It was tongue in cheek. It was just a little bit of, "Hey, your partner just called me, and she rang up because she knows that I work with blokes to help them lose the gut, and she could not love you anymore, but she's worried about you because you're a great provider and you're a great man and you work hard, but your gut's getting bigger and your health's getting worse, and she's wondering if I can do something about you. So I'm reaching out to you to blah, 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 blah." Well, I got emails from blokes telling me where to go, telling me that their wife hadn't spoken to them for 10 years, and the last time she spoke to them, she couldn't give a flying F about it. I had one guy who clearly wasn't in a great space, and I feel really bad about it. His wife had divorced him 10 years ago or so, and he was still extremely bitter, and then she died. And he was saying, "My wife's in the grave, and how dare you?" And the last thing she said to me was, and I went, "Oh my goodness, I've really upset this bloke." And that wasn't the intention at all. It was tongue in cheek. I wasn't trying to have a crack, but clearly it's a sensitive area, and men don't like to have that vulnerable part of them. Yeah. And clearly some of the feedback I got, and I got some positive stuff as well, but it's funny how the negative stuff just people want to tear shreds off you. But yeah, it made me realise that whilst I'm just having a bit of fun, there are some blokes out there with some sensitive issues around relationships and their self-pride and that sort of thing that I've really got to be aware of, that not everything's just a joke and that sort of thing. I take a fairly light-hearted approach to it, but there are some guys out there who are hurting.
Yeah.
And if anything, I want the community that I create to be a community of support, not ridicule. So I want blokes to feel okay about the fact that my personal clients that I work with one-on-one in that space, we get to a point where they can be really open about how they feel about their bodies, because men don't like to say, "Well, we put on this front of I've got this big fat gut and I'm a man because I've got this big fat gut," but deep down they know that the big fat gut's not serving them. It's bloody dangerous. It's not attractive. It's not doing them any favour, but they link the bravado to the gut to help them get away with it. And after building up some trust and that sort of thing, we can talk honestly about how they feel about their own body and their own health and their own longevity, and have those clear, open discussions about where they're at and where they want to be. And at the end of the day, that's what coaching is. Coaching is, where are you now? Where do you want to be? Here's the path to get from A to B. Are you happy to do that or not? Yes, I am. Great. Let's do that step by step. If you're not, okay, well, we've got to change the benchmark here somewhere and have the end result a little bit easier for you. Are you okay with that? Yes, I am. Great. Let's do that. And then when we get to that goal, maybe we can shift that goal up a little bit and aim for something a little bit higher. But yeah, I see coaching as being really step A to step B. Here's the journey. Let's go.
And help them with the journey. And I can definitely vouch for you in that regard, because you have recently been my business coach and you still will be for this year as well. I like the style because I predominantly work with the women coaches as well. So, but it is good to have that counterbalance with you don't take the bullshit. You don't have that. You're soft enough where you need to be and caring, but you don't take the bullshit, or you call it straight away, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm not going to get away with that one. I'm not going to get any like, oh, come on, you can do it, or like that. But you'll just say, now, come on, it's not just you that's feeling this, or it's not just about you, or whatever. So that was pretty cool as well.
I think it's great. I've got a mate of mine who's a mentor of mine, Craig Harper, who talked to me about being the unreasonable friend, and I think that's a great way of looking at it. Is someone who cares about you enough to call you out on your own bullshit. And we all need that sometimes. We get caught up in our own little space and think it's all about me. Well, it's not. It's not all about you. You are certainly a part of it, but we often get caught up with the I can't and this is where I am and this is all I know and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes you just need someone to say, no, just remove the barriers for a bit and see what is possible. What can you do?
That's right.
Do what you can do, rather than sit around going, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. Well, it doesn't lead to a positive outcome.
And even for us as coaches, we still need to be coached as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're learning a lot with the personal development side, and even starting our own businesses and different things that, you know, we come across that then we get put outside of our comfort zone. And by feeling that ourselves, well, that's how we also help our clients. But our clients need to know that we as coaches need someone outside from ourselves to coach us as well.
Absolutely, and that's the cool part. And the stuff that we've spoken about is when you're looking for new experiences and pushing the boundaries a little bit. That's where all the cool stuff happens. That's where we feel alive, and we strive to do more. Is when we're just out of our comfort zone a little bit. Not too much. You don't want to be too extreme, but it's that on the edge of what else can I learn? What can I develop? I'm really looking forward to a Facebook marketing one-day seminar at the end of next week, and I do quite a bit of Facebook marketing, but I'm always looking for what else can I learn, what more can I do. And the guy who's running it he's in Perth actually, Kim Barrett from Your Social Voice, coming up to Melbourne. So excited about what I'm going to learn from him. And there's always more things to learn. There's always more things to keep your mind open to. Learning the good new stuff, but then also unlearning the shit that no longer serves you. So it's kind of that both thing that we all go through. And I think every personal trainer needs a trainer. I think every coach needs a coach. I think we all work a whole lot better when we're being held accountable to somebody.
Yeah.
And have someone who's not there just to piss you off or be high and mighty, but that person who cares about you enough to just question, is what you're doing, is that serving you? Is that in your best interest? Is that what you really want to do? And sometimes just that little gentle probing can open up all sorts of wonderful things and allow us to go, you know what I really want to do is this. Yeah, great. What does that look like? And if that happens and I'm not the right coach to take the client there, then that's totally cool as well. I just refer them on to someone who I might know that might be able to serve them better.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of people out there in the world for us.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And we all need help in one form or another.
Absolutely. Otherwise we're kind of sitting, getting old. And I don't think that's a cool place to be. That's
right. So, Anthony, to wrap up, so tell us about your program and how people can contact you. So how many weeks is it?
8 weeks. It's 100% online. And this concept has been my life's work evolved into one program, doing exactly what I want to do with the group I want to do it with. But we know that if you want to get on top of your health, you've got to do exercise and you've got to eat good food. There's a lot of confusion around that. At the end of the day, exercise and nutrition are pretty simple concepts. Yeah. And I go through that obviously in the program. The most important thing is daily accountability. So the reason, I did a live on this a couple of days ago, the reason personal training doesn't work is because we only get to see our clients a couple of days a week, maybe. So there's 168 hours in the week and you spend 2 hours with a client, you think you're going to impact them on the rest of the week, you're freaking kidding yourself. So what I love about online training, I was anti-online PT for an awfully long time, but what I get to do is impact my clients' lives every single day. So every day they are posting in a private Facebook group talking about the exercises they've done that day, how they felt before and after the exercise. So I want to take the concept of exercise and great nutrition from being something that requires willpower and motivation to do every day and brainwash, change the way we think about it so we have positive association with exercise and great eating. So it's just something we do every day, take it from something you got to strive to do to a habit, to a ritual. And then it becomes like brushing your teeth. I brushed my teeth this morning, didn't think twice about it, just went and brushed my teeth. Did some exercise this morning, didn't think twice about it, got up, went and had a little run around the oval, and then came back, brushed my teeth, had a shower, ready to rock and roll. So that's what I want to do over the 8-week period. And 8 weeks gives me enough time to do that. During the 8-week journey, people are committed, they're uncommitted, they're posting regularly, they're not posting regularly. I just give them a little gentle foot up the backside when they need it. And they know it comes from a good place because I tell them at the start, if you're not prepared to post every day, do not join this group. Because this is going to make you uncomfortable posting. Because most blokes my age group, we don't want to post on Facebook. Private group, only the people who are on the program are in that group. And it's that teamwork thing. It's blokes love working in teams. We go back to playing footy or soccer or basketball or rugby or whatever your sport was, where you're part of something bigger than yourself. Yeah. And some days you drive the team and sometimes the team drives you. But that's awesome in terms of getting blokes off the freaking couch, doing something for their health and well-being. So that's what I do.
So one of the guys at work, he actually calls it the men's support group. So, you know, you can relate it to that as well. It's still a men's support group because you're supporting them through that transition that they need to have.
Yeah, unfortunately, our association with support groups is kind of for weaker blokes. But my group is exactly that. It's a support group. I call it the men's movement to get men moving so they'll have better movements.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't have a bowel movement on a regular basis, so if we can get some decent food into our lives. And, you know, I laugh about it, but bowel cancer is absolutely prevalent for men.
Of course.
And so the more fibre we can get in our diet, the more regular we can make the bowel movements, the better. But yeah, it's very much a space where I want blokes to feel really comfortable with being blokes. We're still, you know, there's no women in our group, and that's no disrespect to women. It's just that blokes behave differently around women.
Yes.
And women behave differently around men. And in this environment, I just want blokes to be able to be blokes and to talk openly about what's on their mind. And I know that fitness being a keystone habit has this impact on all other areas of their life. So all of a sudden, you get a bit fitter, a bit healthier, and you're better at work, and you're better in relationships, and you're a better role model for your kids, and you're better in so many other areas.
And you have that confidence.
The mental health side of men's health is massive. And we know that being physically healthy and creating an environment where you're okay to be accepted amongst the group will lead to a better mental health outcome for men as well. So
yeah.
Multi-pronged attack.
Yes, definitely. And it is men customarily do not share, and like you said, if they ask for support or whatever, they're, you know, and with women we share with our girlfriends. We talk until we get it off our chest. We're not asking them to solve the problem, they're just being there, caring, listening. But you know, so what you're providing within that group, like you said, it's got so many benefits. It's not just about the physical fitness, it is about your mental fitness and your confidence, and that it affects so many different areas as well. So Anthony, if you can just wrap it up with your contact details, that would be awesome.
Yeah, Anthony Spark. I'm on Facebook. Fitfellas.online is on Facebook. It's also the web address. There's no .com.au, it's just fitfellas.online. Anthony at anthonyspark.com.au is my email address. But luckily, the surname Spark, it means that people can Google me and I'll often come up because it's a slightly unusual surname. And yeah, shoot me a message of some sort, and I tend to respond to everyone, whether it's an email or Facebook message or something like that. I'm not that run off my feet that I can't talk to people. So more than happy to have a yak. And even if it's just a yak about men's health, it's funny when you get a topic that you're passionate about, you could talk about it all day long. That's how I feel about men's health. Is I just want to talk to blokes about where they're at and what they're looking for and what they can do about it. And sometimes it leads to working together, and often it doesn't, and that's totally okay. It's more about, again, what can you do rather than what you can't do. If you don't have the money to work in a program like mine, that's totally cool, but what can you do now that will make a difference to your own health? That's
right. And they also got to weigh up, well, how much is it costing you in the way of like prescriptions and medication and, you know, things falling apart around them and stuff like that as well. So
absolutely, yeah.
That's so awesome, Anthony. Thanks so much for taking the time out for talking with me today. As I'll just quickly mention as well, so I've had you also as a business coach, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the interview, that I will want to be working with you throughout the year for 2017 as well. So does that mean, you've got the man side for the men's health and that, but for the business side, you will work with women and guys as well?
I will, yeah. Business is different because it's just business. So there's no masculine, feminine energy anywhere near as much as there is in the exercise realm or what I've created with Fitfellas. But no, the business coaching stuff is, if there's something that resonates, then great. And if it's just about getting your head in the right place, if it's about your structure of your business, about the organisational stuff, I've made more business mistakes than most people, I think, in the last 25 odd years. So I'm happy to help other people avoid those mistakes if I can. And sometimes it's great just to have somebody else who's got some runs on the board, who's had some experience in business, to toss around ideas. And if it's the right fit, it's the right fit. I'm quite happy with the fact that when you choose a coach, it's very much about, do I feel like they're a good alignment for my personality? It's the same as the PT environment. I've sacked clients because we've just been the wrong mix for each other, and it's been an uncomfortable situation. It's the same with coaching. you find a coach that you click with, then great. Milk that coach for everything you can possibly get out of them, and then move on to the next coach. If they no longer have anything else to provide you, then it's time to move on. And I think the coach knows that as well. So more than happy to work with women or men in the coaching realm. And I still have some one-on-one clients in my fitness business where I train with women. I'm not anti-women at all. It's just they're not in my online program.
Yeah, and that's just because I do predominantly work with women within online coach support, but we have got a lot of startup coaches and women within that group also that need that tough love on that business side of things.
Sure, we all do, don't we?
That's right. Thanks so much, Anthony. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Cheers.
See ya.